Good evening. My name is Dr. Teresa Maria Linda Scholes, and with me are my esteemed colleagues, Dr. Elizabeth Gill and Dr. Angela Jacobs. We are all associate professors in the Department of Communication Studies, and we also work across different departments here on campus. However, we are not only EIU academics. We are also committed and involved parents and community members of Charleston and Mattoon. As such, we see ourselves playing multiple roles, but at the core of these roles are the passion, commitment, and hope we share for fostering and building relationships despite challenges and tensions. We see that same passion and commitment reflected in our students' collective work this evening. And therefore, on behalf of the three of us, I am truly honored to introduce our students' event. This is EIU, Layered Stories of Community, Its Challenges, and Its Potential. This semester are three classes: Dr. Jacobs' Introduction to Interpersonal Communication class, Dr. Gill's Advanced Interpersonal Communication class, and my Communication, Race, and Ethnicity class collaborated to gather personal narratives from students, faculty, administrators, and residents of the surrounding community. Our students' goal was to complete the statement, EIU is, via the collection of narratives that focus on identity and community. 63 students in these classes represent majors in communication studies within an array of option areas, also majors in psychology, marketing, foreign language, political science, and minors in advertising, sociology, psychology, public relations, history, health communication, professional writing, Latin American studies, pre-law studies, and business administration. Additionally, we had the assistance of two of our graduate students in communication studies, Clinton Brown and Frank Vargas, who have worked tirelessly to make this event what it is this evening. We framed our project around StoryCorps, a nonprofit organization and a national project whose mission is to instruct and inspire people to record each other's stories in sound. Dave Asai, founder of StoryCorps, notes that we do this to remind one another of our shared humanity, to strengthen and to build the connections between people, to teach the value of listening, and to weave into the fabric of our culture the understanding that everyone's story matters. Together, our classes collected upwards of 150 stories about EIU and the Charleston community. We share parts of these stories with you tonight to demonstrate our connections with one another, to call attention to those issues that EIU and Charleston need and must address, and to inspire each other to be the voice of change. With this said, I am proud to introduce one of our student presenters for the evening, Marcus Brown.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I just want to say thank you all for coming. My name, as Linda said, is Marcus Brown, and I'll be your narrator for the evening. First, I'd like to introduce you to our presenters, some great students up here. We have first Mackenzie Buab, Mallory Winkler, Hillary Fuller, Zach Booth, Eric Eccles, Liv Link, Cameron Douglas, Marvin Collins, and Jake Ansel. The purpose of this semester's project was to tell the stories of EIU and Charleston through the collection of narratives. While every person's reality may be different, we are here tonight to recognize that everyone's story matters. In order to work towards stronger, more connected communities, we must first listen to each other. Tonight, we hope to begin that process. Now, first, our presenters will discuss the themes that emerged from the interviews we completed with members of the EIU and Charleston communities. You'll hear both good and bad. You'll likely hear some things you disagree with, but please keep an open mind and recognize that what we present are the stories of others living and working in the communities around you. As our presenters discuss the themes, you'll also hear direct quotes from the interviewees, as spoken by the presenters. After this portion of the evening, we'll present a brief prezi to further demonstrate the themes of the evening. And lastly, we'll begin a dialogue in breakout session groups. Now please give your attention to Mackenzie, who will be discussing our first theme of community.
The commitment to community runs deep for both EIU and Charleston. A community is not only a group of people living in the same place, but also a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. A community is akin to extended families for many people. It's home, where relationships grow and develop, where we can feel comfortable, safe, and accepted.
EIU is especial, which obviously means special, because I think it's very caring. People won't let you fall between the cracks, a quote by a graduate student.
EIU means connections. I like the connections that EIU has given me in a lot of ways. It's given me a sense of independence. I would say that EIU is comfortable, yes. While there are definitely some things that I would have changed, it's a place where you're not going to go crazy, and you're not going to get lost. It has a sense of comfortableness about it. You know, this is your home, and this is where we're at. A quote by a student.
EIU is home. Almost everything I do in the community is through EIU, is related to EIU, or impacts EIU. And that's personally and professionally. We can bring our kids up to campus all the time. We live just a couple of blocks from campus, and I can't imagine what it would be like if campus wasn't here. I wouldn't have moved to this town if there was no EIU. Charleston's great, but I feel like it's great because of EIU, and I would say that to anybody. That's what makes this town great. A quote by an EIU alum and a community member.
Eastern Illinois University is a diverse community where individuals from all walks of life come together with common goals of education, enrichment, and empowerment. Eastern is situated in the larger community of Charleston, Illinois, a community that is distinct from, but also deeply connected to EIU. Members of Eastern and the larger community recognize this interdependence. Many participants in our interviews commented that Charleston is EIU and EIU is Charleston.
The relationships between Eastern and Charleston is definitely getting stronger. I feel recently it's gotten a lot closer, and maybe some of that's due to the interaction that me and the president have been having together. And I know there's been some strain here recently because of jobs and things of that nature, and maybe the community has realized how much of a part the university actually is to the community. I personally feel like Charleston is EIU and EIU is Charleston, a quote by a Charleston mayor.
At the same time, though, like any family, EIU and Charleston face struggles that need to address their differences. In order to break down the barriers that exist within and across our communities, we need to start by opening our ears and hearts of stories of one another.
We were at a town meeting at the JAC, and this woman sitting next to me starts talking about what she wants as a community member from good people in the Eastern community. And she starts using the word guest. And she's using the word guest not to describe the students, but then she starts talking about people like us as guests. It was unbelievable. But then it really helped me understand that, for whatever reason, the people who see themselves as the muckety mucks in the community have a very distinct identity from Eastern, and they kind of see themselves as the real Charleston. A quote by a former faculty member, alum, and community member.
I think right now there's a definite divide between people in the community who are not involved with EIU, who have a misconception of what the EIU student body is and what they do for the community. I feel like Charleston wouldn't be a community without EIU. I really wish there was a better all-around relationship between the community of Charleston and EIU, one that both appreciated and supported each other fully. I've seen a lot of things on Facebook, and obviously social media is an easy place to post ignorant statements where there's very little repercussions and you don't have to have your facts straight before posting on the internet. A quote by a Charleston student, or resident, sorry.
A community is something to take pride in. The communities you belong to influence who you are, how you see yourself, and how others see you. A community provides opportunities for its members, empowering them to grow. But communities, just like families, can face challenges. Those challenges come in the form of differences of opinion and perspective. Divergent ways of seeing the world, From those differences, we as community members struggle with tensions, conflict, and fears that threaten to pull us apart.
EIU means a great deal to me. It's made me a better person. It's made me come out of my comfort zone. It's made me independent. EIU is a great school. The people are great. It's friendly. I think it's a good community. It has not been safe recently. A lot of people believe that you can't even walk across the campus late at night anymore. The crime rates have definitely gone up this past semester. So I think the community has changed since my freshman year at Eastern. But to me, EIU is still home. A quote by a student.
I think there's an attitude with some students who expect to be treated like the royalty, or that you have to conform to my culture, when we are all together and we need to learn how to get along with each other's culture. So that's part of where the community says, well, hey, we live here and we still live here when you've graduated and gone. So we can't change the whole environment just while you're here to match you. I think we all need to be mindful of each other's culture. I think Charleston loves EIU. They value that and know that we're a college town. It's not like we don't want the students here. No, they want the students here, but they don't want them to throw trash on the sidewalk or create crime or violence. They just want people to get along. A quote by a staff and community member.
We hold and have the potential to change, but it all just starts with us here tonight.
But with any community comes challenges. And next we'll have Eric, Zach, and Liv introduce the theme of challenges.
The selling point that Eastern's a safe town is no longer a selling point. I just had a young lady in Friday who was a sophomore elementary education major, and I asked her, "Do you feel safe?" And she said, "Absolutely not. We walk together in groups in the daytime to go to class." That, 5 years ago, was absolutely unheard of. I don't know if we can put the genie back in the bottle. That's my fear. I think it's manageable, but I don't think it's going to be politically correct. They're going to be afraid because it involves race, and everybody is afraid to talk about race. And it is what it is. You look at the mob action picture in the newspaper, and that's everybody's perception. Facts are facts. It is what it is. And who I feel horrible for is the black individual who came here to get an education because they're getting lumped in with all of the riffraff that followed. All this is one person's fault. It was a former director of admissions, and she even said it was her mission to save the inner city. Okay, that's a noble cause, but at what expense? A quote by a community member.
I've been in stores here in Charleston. I've been followed because I haven't gone to various establishments here, and they have looked at me, particularly white women, have looked at me as if I was some sort of problem to their establishment. It's almost as if I need to walk around with a t-shirt that's like, I'm actually a professor at Eastern, which is problematic. So I'm not comfortable in the community here. I don't live here. I'm not comfortable being here at night. What makes it hard for me because I'm trying to attend a lot of student events, but I'm not comfortable being in this town at night. A quote by a faculty member.
Challenges. They are an inescapable facet of life that we all must face.
I would describe the EIU community as, well, my freshman year it was really friendly. I wasn't scared at all. I would go to the library at night and walk home by myself, have my music in. I wouldn't have to worry about anything because it wasn't dangerous or anything. But recently, there's been a lot of crime happening, so I've definitely been more aware. All of my roommates and I have pepper spray hanging on our keychains, and we have to be more alert. So I think that the community right now is feeling more dangerous and scary than it has in the past. My roommate was walking from her car into our house. She was literally 10 feet outside of our house, and she was assaulted. So it's like anywhere you go, you can't really be safe, no matter what precautions you take. A quote by a student.
Both. As individuals and as a collective, we face various challenges, but the challenges themselves are not the problem. The problem is what must be done to overcome them and what is seemingly being ignored.
I got back to Eastern in 07, 08. The campus just felt different from the perspective of a person of color. The campus didn't feel safe anymore. I was hearing students say that the same shit that they were saying in 93 about being called names and racial slurs. Then social media made it bigger. I want to say maybe 07, 08, and to me, it hasn't gotten any better. I used to feel safe on campus. I used to feel that the campus wanted me here, and now I feel like the campus tolerates us, people of color. A quote by an advisor.
People from the town of Charleston felt that the town was changing in a negative way because of all the students of color that were coming in from Eastern. I know they might not have been talking about me personally, but I know they were having a generalization of students that they may not know. A quote by a graduate student.
Through courage, compassion, and understanding, we can learn how to improve our relationships with one another. In this section, our theme, challenges, can make or break EIU. For those that think we don't have any challenges to face, you might not be quite honest with yourself.
I think there's a lack of understanding of how people of color feel when they come here. I don't think the university handles, well, things that the Charleston police do to students of color, a lot of which are really problematic. When you are talking about certain populations that have historically very tense relationships with law enforcement, that's a huge problem. I think the university loves to say that they handle all of these things very well in terms of racial and ethnic diversity. I just don't see it, really. I don't see much of an effort on behalf of administration to make sure. They will love to recruit you because they love to take your money. But then what happens to you once you get here is not even an afterthought for them. It's not a thought at all. If we link that to how so many of our students are first-generation college students, who in general just need some extra help, if you walk into what is potentially an unwelcoming community, how are you going to get through college? A quote by a faculty member.
Each of us has something to work towards in making this a better institution. For starters, we all have stories to tell. Listening to the stories we have for you today will hopefully spark your thoughts for what is to come later. In these stories, we identify issues that have been concerning for administrators, faculty, staff, student leaders, our peers, and community members of Charleston.
One of the biggest divides is a lack of knowledge, in that the community assumes that the students are reckless and dangerous, and the students assume that the community is conservative and against them. There really isn't enough interaction. You don't meet people from the community when you go here. You just refer to them as townies and go on your way. I think that Eastern should, or the town should, take a step to create a type of support and get rid of that divide, or something where college students would learn to respect the Charleston townies for more than just being here. There are so many people in Charleston who are really intelligent and prominent in the community. They do a lot for Eastern, but students don't acknowledge that and they just look past it. A quote by a student.
These are perspectives we have selected for you to hear and to embrace with courage, compassion, and understanding. These stories will help you think about some of the challenges that are affecting EIU and Charleston altogether.
You're trying to put yourself out there. You're trying to make that person know that, hey, I'm a human just like you are. And when they don't, it makes you feel like you're nothing. A quote by a graduate student.
With these words in mind, begin to challenge yourself and those around you to improve our path and solidify a path of unity. With these words in mind, we must remain optimistic. EIU has a lot of potential. It just yet, perhaps, is untapped.
But with many challenges comes the opportunity of future potential. So finally, we'll have Marvin and Jake introduce the theme of potential.
Beyond our themes of community and challenges, the stories we collected speak of EIU and Charleston's potential. Potential is defined as the possibility of becoming something, generally referring to a current unrealized ability.
EIU has a lot of potential to grow. Obviously, we'll never be as big as U of I, but the people I see here have a lot of potential. They are smart and are aware of social issues, and I think that alone will make this campus grow. That and some state funding. A quote by a student.
Our collective stories tell a tale of close-knit community, weighed down with tension and fear. But if you listen to these stories, there's also a hint of something more.
The Charleston community wouldn't be what it is without EIU, but EIU wouldn't be what it is without the Charleston community. I'm interested in issues of poverty and hunger. We have lots of students who's faced those issues, but we also have a lot of students who want to help those issues as well. And so, we go out and we volunteer and donate to food banks and we help out fellow students who might need a little extra help. I think it's only going to benefit the students and their experiences here, and the faculty and their experiences here, if we grow a stronger community in Charleston. A quote by a faculty member.
Many interviewees spoke of EIU as ambitious, EIU is enduring. EIU is opportunity. EIU is transformative and evolving. Across many of these stories is a shared sense of potential for EIU and Charleston to be great. But our communities have also been defined as incomplete, of not being full or finished, lacking all the necessary and appropriate parts.
EIU has one of the most giving student bodies I've ever encountered. There are students who are always willing to volunteer and who are always willing to help and do so selflessly. And I think that's really remarkable, that Eastern has cultivated this culture where that's the expectation and that is the norm. One of the challenges, not just in Coles County or Charleston, but in our society right now, is that we've forgotten that life can just be really hard, and that all of us as individuals are doing the very best we can to get through. And sometimes we just need help and support from other people. If we are more willing to take the time to offer a helping hand, or offer a genuine smile, or have kind and fully present interactions, well, I think we'd have a much different community. A quote by a Charleston resident.
EIU tries. They try to create a cohesive and respectful environment, but it feels that there's always room for improvement. A quote by a graduate student.
EIU is struggling. EIU is hopeful. EIU is challenging. EIU is... There are so many other words that I really want to use, but I don't feel them as complete for the school yet. So maybe that's my word. EIU is incomplete. A quote by a faculty member.
Our job is to listen to each person's stories to ascertain what parts are not complete, what necessary parts we are lacking. Ben Herbster, a well-known pastor, once said, "The greatest waste in the world is the difference between what we are and what we could become." We need to ask ourselves, who do we want to be, and what do we want to become?
I would say that EIU is poised. I think EIU is poised to potentially make a really great positive change for the better in both its community and in the Charleston community. As a university in a town the size of Charleston, obviously the university is such a major player, if not the major player in the development of the town. And I think a lot of community members are aware of that and already need to embrace that. And EIU being connected with so many great professionals whose bread and butter is examining social issues and developing students and fostering their engagement with social issues can really support its students in the activist role that they want to take in addressing these issues of race and class. So they're poised to make a tremendous and wonderful impact here, and I'd really like to see them live up to that. It's hard work. It takes a lot of self-awareness, a lot of honesty, and a lot of willingness to admit that we don't know everything that we're doing, but we want to involve our students, involve our faculty, and involve our community in addressing these changes for the betterment of all. A quote by a Lakeland administrator and Charleston resident.
As our stories demonstrate, students and community members alike talk about a changing EIU. Where EIU was once a place students called home, as it provided a sense of comfort and familiarity, but now, as many of our collective stories attest, there are growing divisions and a sense of nostalgia for what once was.
I'm just hoping that EIU can get back to that feel that it had 3 or 4 years ago. I just hope that with the new faculty and administration and President Glassman, he can get a hold of what's going wrong here and get the university back on track. I'm proud of EIU, but EIU to me has a long way to go, and they need to make a lot of connections and corrections to fix itself before EIU is no longer EIU. A quote by an alum.
I think that what is frustrating from the standpoint of being of Eastern, more so than being of the community, is the community has a sort of coloring of nostalgia. They have this belief that things were a certain way 30 years ago and that Eastern has changed, rather than the world having changed. And people fear change. They are stressed by it. They are concerned by it, and they don't like it. It is a challenging thing. And the changing cultural norms and the changing of societal norms over the past several years has been problematic for our community. The change can be frustrating and scary, and as a result, I think there has been a strained relationship in the last few years between us and the community. The members wanting to focus on the bad things, and the Eastern members wanting to focus on the good things. But we need to find more productive ways to talk to each other to alleviate that strain. A quote by an EIU faculty member.
We want to challenge ourselves today to move beyond this story of trouble that we are currently living. We are more than the troubles that plague us. We are bigger than the issues that divide us. We have the power to change our story. As we mentioned in the beginning of our presentation, everyone's story matters.
EIU is una bendición, una chance para tener un buen futuro. I think that goes hand in hand with my ethnicity. A lot of us see our studies as more of a blessing than it is just a chore. We are very fortunate to come to a school like this. My father only went to the 3rd grade in Mexico, so he had to work all of his life. I think of it as a blessing, like I said, and a chance to have a good future. A quote by a student.
When we give care and attention to each and every person's story, it transforms us. It connects us to each other and shifts the fabric of our being. If you sit down long enough to listen to another human being, you cannot help but care for that person. Shared stories literally transform and unite communities.
I'm going to say this word, but it's not technically the word. EIU is learning. And when I say learning, learning from its mistakes, learning how to change. And I don't want to say EIU is changing, because it really isn't yet. It's just learning. We are learning. But I don't know if what we are learning is the stuff that we're supposed to be learning. A quote by an advisor.
We may be currently in the midst of struggle, but we don't have to stay there. Ella Fitzgerald once said, "It isn't where you came from, it's where you're going that counts."
For me, EIU means opportunity. I mean, you could go to any other school and have more research or academic opportunities, but Eastern has a really personal approach, and that gives you opportunities that you wouldn't get elsewhere. A quote by a student.
We hope you can keep this in mind as we watch this presentation. Together, we can rewrite our story, a story of empowerment, transformation, of connection and relationship, a story of new potential.
What's wrong with the world, mama? People living like they ain't got no mamas. I think the whole world's addicted to the drama, only attracted to things that'll bring the trauma. Overseas, yeah, we trying to stop terrorism, but we still got terrorists here living in the USA, the big CIA, the Bloods and the Crips and the KKK. But if you only have love for your own race, then you only leave space to discriminate, and to discriminate only generates hate. And when you hate, then you're bound to get irate. Yeah, madness is what you demonstrate, and that's exactly how anger works and operates. Man, you gotta have love just to set it straight. Take control of your mind and meditate. Let your soul gravitate to the love, y'all.
People killing, people dying, children hurt and you hear them crying. Can you practice what you preach and would you turn the other cheek? Father, 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 help us, send some guidance from above. These people got me questioning, where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love?
It just ain't the same, always new change. New days are strange, is the world insane? If love and peace is so strong, why are there pieces of love that don't belong? Nations dropping bombs, chemical gases filling lungs of little ones with ongoing suffering as the youth are young. So ask yourself, is the loving really gone? So I could ask myself, really what is going wrong in this world that we living in? People keep on giving in, making wrong decisions, only visions of them dividends, not respecting each other, denying thy brother. A war's going on, but the reason's undercover. The truth is kept secret, it's swept under the rug. If you never know truth, then you never know love. Where's the love, y'all? Come on, I don't know. Where's the truth, y'all? Come on, I don't know. Where's the love, y'all?
People killing, people dying, children hurt and you hear them crying. Can you practice what you preach and would you turn the other cheek? Father, 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 help us, send some guidance from above. These people got me questioning, where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love? Where is the love?
I feel the weight of the world on my shoulder.
As I'm getting older, your people gets colder. Most of us only care about money making. Selfishness got us following the wrong direction. Wrong information always shown by the media. Negative images is the main criteria. Infecting the young minds faster than bacteria. Kids wanna act like what they see in the cinemas, yeah. Whatever happened to the values of humanity? Whatever happened to the fairness and equality? Instead of spreading love, we're spreading animosity. Lack of understanding leading us away from unity. That's the reason why sometimes I'm feeling under. That's the reason why sometimes I'm
You know, it's funny that I go to graduation every year, and for the last few years I've listened to President Perry give the convocation, or excuse me, that when he does the speech at graduation. And one of the things he always closed with is telling the graduating class to repeat after him, I am EIU. And I don't know that people actually think about what that means, but EIU is what it is because of the students, because of the faculty. So I feel like this is my university, that I am not an employee of EIU. This is my university, just as it is your university. So that's my place here, is that I'm one of the essential ingredients of EIU, and it would be less without me, just as it would be less without you.
So next we're going to transition into our breakout sessions. But first, before we do that, I want to go over a couple of dialogue guidelines that we all should follow so we can have a good discussion here tonight. So first is that this is an open and safe environment. All opinions are to be respected. Each person will be allowed to speak, and it is okay to respectfully disagree. But it is not okay to intentionally use hurtful language or jokes, so please respect each other. If you don't know how to word something, that's all right. Go ahead and try, and others will try to help you work through it. Just make sure that you respect each other and be honest. It's okay to be direct, but don't talk around, talk about the issues, and that's all. Thank you.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Cameron Douglas again. It's good to see you all. All right, so I was walking around. I was that guy that was kind of over your shoulder a little bit looking. Everybody was like, who is this guy standing over me? I'm just pretty much listening to what's going on. So what I've been hearing from everyone is just evident that, we all come from different backgrounds and, we all do share different experiences. Not one of us in here is anything like each other. I've overheard talks about issues with comfortability on all different sides of the table, whether it's the time of day or place that we're going. Though these issues haven't yet become problems, there are still obstacles that we face. And for some of us, safety isn't an issue. I also heard that. I hear talks about racism, overt and systematic, and that we all experience people that are set in their ways. I'm sure you guys can attest that some of you were talking about that as well. So I heard about microaggressions causing disagreements, whether they were subtle or overt linked to lacks of education. I heard that come up with a lot of our conversations, just saying that the lack of education stemmed into other things that we've seen as problems. Could it be that these unintentional microaggressions are reinforcing the negativity and the difference between us, and that it's building a wall about our difference rather than, before we have a chance to learn about our differences. So when that happens, I heard a lot of groups talking about how we have a process of naming things that are different to us. So if it's unfamiliar to us, we're just quick to label it something that fits in with us, whether it's negative or positive about that other person. That being said, I overheard a couple groups talking about preconceived notions about personality and convos based off of judgments that we have made about each other. Generalizations like from locations like the Chicago stigma or the Townie stigma. I've also heard groups talking about how social media perpetuates the issues, similar to the tweets that we've seen in the Instagram posts. Are we taking things from social media, which is a non-confrontational environment, and bringing it to the forefront of our confrontations? I also heard about talks about what we can do as much as, what has happened, which I really think is a powerful thing because it's not always great to dwell in the past and, always look to what we can do in the future. And that being said, open-mindedness does need to happen for everyone. Whether there is a generational gap, I heard this group over here speaking about that, and a racial difference, people should never feel discriminatory silence. So if you were in here tonight and you felt like you couldn't speak, that was definitely not the point of this. We encourage everybody to share their experience because this is a safe zone. So, ultimately, while I was walking around, I noticed a lot of emotion and a lot of passion and a lot of willingness to participate and a lot of openness. I noticed strength and some weaknesses, but I noticed the power to turn our groups that we have formed into teams, and teams that will strive to a common goal for us all. It will take a lot of selflessness rather than selfishness, a lot of empathy rather than sympathy, but it takes us and we and not I and yous. So I just want to encourage everybody just to fight the good fight. Spend that time fully engaging with others and spend that time motivating and educating others. Seek out people in the classrooms and communities whom you're unfamiliar with and go that extra mile. And if it's not just to better our circumstances, just think about the generations after you and the students that are coming after you. What we're doing tonight does not stop at that door, it starts at that door. So just be the change you want to see in the world, and at EIU. So that's really it.
I appreciate you. You're a good friend, thank you. So I wrote an original piece for tonight, and I hope you guys like it. When I was younger, my grandmother used to tell me, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise a child. I was never quite sure what that meant, especially because I was sure it was my mama and daddy that raised me. Then the end of my senior year of high school came, and my acceptance letter into Eastern Illinois University came sailing in just behind it. To celebrate, my parents gifted me with luggage. I gratefully accepted. But as we made the 3.5-hour trip from Chicago to Charleston, Illinois, my parents were prepared for what would happen next. I carried that luggage into my dorm room, and I stepped inside. This was as far as I knew to go. I looked back at my parents for the roadmap of what it was that I should do next. After a long and awkward silence, they left. It was time for the village to raise the child, or in this case, the community to raise the student. I was left here to do some growing up, and it wasn't and isn't just the barrier of some brick building or the droning of professors, not that mine do, that pushed me forward to become the student I want to be. Experience. Experience is what this village has to offer me. They can feed me with its advice, nourish me with its immersion, so that when this child is full grown, they'll remember where they came from. However, I challenge you to keep in mind as people we are growing every single day, forever students. Even without the barriers of a brick building or a droning professor, so give an ear to those children and understand that they are more than what you see. They are more than immaturity. A child can give color to ideas, can shift a perception for the better, can shake the world from its roots it finds itself in every single day. Hear our stories so you can grow too. It takes a village to raise a child, a community to raise a student. Well, we are all students, and we need to listen to our communities, learning from one another so we can navigate that roadmap to move forward. The awkward silences, the skirting around the issues, the ignoring one another only keeps us still and unmoving. Moving forward means listening to one another, allowing these stories to not just be heard, but to shape us as well. Thank you.
Once again, amazing job, Hillary. So we just want to say thank you one last time for coming out. Hopefully you guys get home safe and have a good rest of your week.